Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bensalem Township Council meeting. Today's date is June 26, 2023. I want to ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent meditation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a Boy Scout in attendance this evening. I guess he's doing it for a merit badge, but he's here with us from Troop 132, and your name is? Noah? Noah. That's my grandson's name, Noah. Not Fender, though, but he's got the first name as you. Huh?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Well, we could use it with the rain we had a couple of days ago. Whatever. That's wonderful.
Do you do Sea Scouts too?
No, Noah. He's going within the word.
No, he said boat. Never mind.
You got it.
Sorry.
All right.
Dad, and
No.
I got what you were saying.
And that's why I'm the president. Okay, well, we're going to begin the meeting with the introduction of our council members and our staff members that are here this evening at the dais. And we're going to start with supporting personnel. We have Phil Worcester, our township engineer. We have Debbie McQueen, our township council executive, whatever you do. Clerk. Executive clerk. Executive right. We have our township Solicitor Joe Pizzo. We have the Honorable Mayor Joseph DiGirolamo with us. This evening, we have Joe Knowles, Secretary, excuse me. I'm thinking Vice President, but Secretary. Stacy Champion, Michelle Benitez. I'm Ed Kisselback, and I'm the Chairman of Bensalem Township Council. We have some really good news before we begin, and we always like to share good news, and I'm going to ask the Mayor. Mr. Mayor, would you be kind enough to share the fact that we just received an honor from Forbes magazine? Could you share that with us, please?
Yep, I would gladly bring that up at this point. I think it's very, very important. Philadelphia Business Journal, which is a subsidiary of Forbes magazine, has named Bensalem one of the 50 best places to raise a family, and we're number 26 out of 50. And that's in the country, in the whole country. So I think of the team I always talk about working together and making these things happen with hard work. And it's not easy doing these things. You have to go out and make sure that we give the support that the community needs. And this community certainly has reflected that. And I'm very, very proud to be part of this team to say that we have done this and continue to do it. We've been one of 100. We've been one of 50 in different other categories over the last 10 years. So we won't rest until I think we have the same charge as number one, and we'll work towards that and continue to do that. But thank you, Mr. President, for giving me the opportunity to discuss that at the beginning of the meeting. I don't know if I can be here to the end of the meeting. I don't know how long it's going to be. I have a schedule I have to keep. But I don't know if Lieutenant Bush can maybe talk a little bit about the quads and the dirt bikes and everything he's actually leading the way on this, of what we're doing, and it's a zero tolerance. So if you allow him to say something when he comes up, I think it would be good to discuss that also, because it's a big problem we're having here in Bensalem. So thank you for your patience.
Okay, and you're here for agenda item number 5, is that correct? Okay, so if you like, why don't you come up now, Lieutenant? You'll come up twice if that's okay with you. And what the mayor was referring to, we had a number of residents come before us a couple of weeks ago, and they were concerned with the ATVs and the bikes and the dirt bikes and things, actually creating a very noisy and dirty, disgusting environment that they had to live in. And the mayor told them, and we all told them, that we don't like to tolerate that. We will not tolerate it. And the mayor would take charge of that. And he, of course, put our police department in terms of approaching this problem we had, and Lieutenant Bush has some news as we are progressing on that particular problem that we have in Bensalem. Please take the floor.
Yeah, we had a meeting with the mayor and our police director with some concerned citizens last week and let them air out their grievances, and we agree with them. It's something that we cannot overlook. So myself and the motorcycle unit, we got our off-road vehicles together that were repaired and are back in service, and we're going up there performing ATV duties in the wooded areas throughout the township at various days and nights during the week. We're not going to announce when they are, but we're going to be out there, and we've had some success so far. We've recovered one motorcycle that's possibly stolen. We're still working on that, but that was just day 2 out there that we were able to grab one and tow it. We're going to have zero tolerance. We've warned the people riding these vehicles in the past, and they're still doing it, and now they're causing a nuisance with the neighbors in the area as well, and we can't have that.
And so by an ordinance that the council had created some time ago, the police department has the authority to seize any vehicle that's illegally riding on properties such as that and causing a disturbance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so that's unique to Bensalem. We're not the only township, but it is unique to our specific area. And there was it several vehicles that were seized? Is that correct, or was it?
We seized one so far.
There's one, okay.
There were several in the woods that we've seen. We weren't able to catch up to them, but we'll get them identified. We have some things in place right now that I don't want to divulge, but to help us with that enforcement effort.
Okay, well, we thank you for that, and as you know, Bensalem Council, the mayor especially, responds to the concerns of any citizens and anything that they have. This is only one incident, or one example of we're here for you in terms of why we're here and what we're doing. So we appreciate that part of it. So I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes when we get to agenda item number 5. Thanks, Lieutenant.
Can I make a quick comment on that?
Absolutely.
I just want to thank you for your swift action. I actually went to Grove Avenue recently, and you can clearly see that you've done everything that you can to deter this type of activity. So just thank you, everybody, for collaborating and taking quick action.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to make a comment?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Just let people who are out of us leave.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Mr. Pizzo, are there any changes in our agenda this evening?
There are, Mr. Kisselback. For item number 7 and number 8, a settlement consistent with the direction given to our office has been filed with the court. At this point, the court has not yet entered an order, so I would imagine that you probably want to wait until we have the court order before removing it from the agenda. So items 7 and 8 can be tabled to your next agenda.
Okay, so that's both of them.
That's
All right,
both of them.
fine.
Item 8 will ultimately need action by you,
Right,
but
okay.
again, until we get the order back from the court.
All right, but
On the appeal.
the settlement was determined in the court when you were representing the township, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and it hasn't come to fruition as yet. All right, so with that in mind, council members, could I have a motion to table agenda item number 7 and number 8 to a date certain of July 10th?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
And against, the abstentions. Okay, that is unanimous. 7 and 8. Anything else, Mr. Pizzo?
Yes, a couple of them came in late, so I'll have to just pull them up off of my phone.
It's okay.
Item number 10, which would be the continuation of the lot line change for Chaudhry, received word last week that it was likely going to be requesting a continuance. The continuance letter did come in this afternoon, and so they're asking for a continuance to the July 10 council meeting to allow them additional time to complete the PSA with the township and to take care of the required escrow that council has asked be put into place. Their attorney does say he's happy to report that they have provided the township with multiple demolition estimates, that they have agreed to an escrow amount, and that all of the documents have been submitted to the township at this point. So that should be ready for your July 10 meeting
So,
to continue.
wonderful. So we'll have all the information, so when they come in here, it should be an easy and quick agenda item to attend to and move on.
That's what we're expecting, yes,
And
sir.
we were expecting that also. All right, thank you, Mr. Pizzo. Keep on going.
You know, if you want to make a motion to table that one,
We'll make a motion on that then.
I'll make a motion to move 1206 Crespo Lane for the Chaudhry's to a date certain of July 10th, 2023.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll second.
We do have a second on the motion. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. Aye, and against, an abstention. That is unanimous. All right.
and then for item 11, which is 448 Mill Road, Leiden Real Estate Associates. It was, I believe there was some communication between the township engineer and the applicant earlier today that there are apparently some items related to the stormwater management that have not yet been submitted to the township. It appears to have been an oversight on the part of the applicant. In any event, they'll be getting that into the township, and they are again asking for a continuation of that matter. They didn't give a date specific, but since it's the same attorney as for Chaudhry, I would suggest that you table it to a date certain of July 10.
All right, we have the information. Can I have a motion on that, please? We have a motion on that? We have a second on the motion. All those? Vote with an aye or a nay. Aye. All those in favor? No one against? No abstentions? That is unanimous. Okay.
I don't have anything for item 9, do I, Debbie?
Yeah, I have this in my notes as that it may be tabled. That's what I have on mine, Joe.
Okay. If someone wants to hand that down somehow, that didn't make it, I must have
Debbie, do you have
failed to put
anything?
it into my...
Was that hearsay, or is anyone here from, well, let's get that. Is anyone here from Shack's Express Cargo Incorporated?
I thought whispering down the lane, they said it wasn't coming on, that's what I heard.
I heard through the grapevine also, so I have no specific
I have
thing
no
that
paper, but...
I ever.
Well,
Well, let's table it.
Can we move it?
Let's just leave it at this point.
they're not here. Debbie says we did receive a request for a continuance, and so the safest thing to do would be just to table it to your next agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Unless we have a copy of, unless somebody has a copy of the letter. I apologize, but I don't
Well,
see
we'll
it
be
here in
there
my packet.
shortly. We'll be there to agenda, because we have changes, so let's wait till we get to that agenda item. If they're not here at that time, we'll table it. How's that? Okay, Joe, is that fine with you?
That's certainly.
Okay. All right. Let's move it on from there, okay? So now we're going to go back to agenda item number 3, which is public comment, and this will be limited to any agenda items. Would anyone like to come forward? Noah? Nothing? I'm just kidding. Okay. Then we'll move on to agenda item number 4, and this is the approval of the council minutes for the meeting of date June the 12th. All of our council members were here. Is there any changes on this presentation on the agenda of June the 12th? Everybody's fine with it? Then can I have a motion to accept it as presented?
We accept the minutes from the meeting June 12th, 2023, as presented.
So we have a motion on the floor.
Second?
We have a second on the motion. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. And against, any abstentions? Unanimous. Okay. If I knew it was that easy, I would have run for president earlier. Okay, only kidding, only kidding. Bring a little light into the thing. All right, agenda item number 5, we have consideration of a public hearing on ordinance. This is amending the code of the township of Bensalem by adding Chapter 60. And this is related to the automated red light enforcement system. I don't have Mr. Pizzo comment on that, but we're going to have Lieutenant Bush come up and make a presentation on why we are doing this, and how we're doing this, and the specifics of it also. Okay? All right. First of all, of course, we know who you are. If you can explain to us what we're doing generally and give us the two intersections that we're considering.
Yeah, we've been considering this for a while, and we put it on hold because we had the bus patrol program that we were trying to work the kinks out of. But it's automated red light enforcement. You may have seen it in Abington. It's the only city out, or the only town outside the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that has it right now. They've had it for about 8 years. So the city of Philadelphia has it. The closest intersection to us is Southampton and the Boulevard. It records violators that are not stopping for red lights. And in the past 6 to 7 months, a lot of areas, red lights have just become an option. They're treating them like stop signs. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see it, but that's what they're doing now. So to combat some of that, we decided to contact this company that outfitted Abington. It's all self-sufficient and turnkey. It doesn't cost the township anything. And we were going to approach the enforcement at Knights and Street Road, which, as you all know, 10 years ago, it was one of the deadliest intersections in the country. And the other intersection we were going to do is Route 1 and Old Lincoln Highway, just north and southbound.
Okay, and the information on that, according to Time Magazine and a published article in 2014, is that there are 252 accidents recorded on Knights Road and Street Road. That's a lot.
Yeah, in a
And-
5-year period, correct.
And then Old Lincoln Highway and Route 1 is second, not too far behind, with 189 accidents recorded in that intersection.
That's
That's why
correct, sir.
those two were targeted, correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. Anyone would like to make a comment on this before we continue on this? Any council members? Okay, would you like to continue on the presentation, or?
What else would you like to know about it?
Well, I guess we have the reason for it because of the two intersections we had cited. And I guess people should know that how long it's going to take to put the program in place, and how many days we have after it's in place that we have as far as a amnesty part. 60 days, I
Sure.
believe it is, something like that, so the people know that, the public know that.
The turnaround time, I believe, once it's approved, is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 60 days to get it up and running. Depending on the infrastructure that's in place, they don't think there's going to be any issues. And the first 60 days of implementation of this program, violators will just receive a warning.
Okay, and even when they receive a ticket, it does not...
The ticket's $100, and it doesn't carry any points on their license.
Exactly. So we know
And
that,
the
too.
company that is installing the equipment, that has paid for the equipment, they recoup their cost from the citations.
Okay, any other comments?
So I have a
ladies?
question. So if a car continues to do this, since it's not a moving violation, what is our ability to do anything?
Well, if they get multiple citations, they are mailed multiple citations. If they're not paying them, they go to a collection agency that is also run by the company that owns the equipment. We
Just
don't
a
have
civil
to-
matter.
We don't have to
that's
do
all it's
anything.
saying.
And also, though, it's in place too. They can request hearings for this. I've sat through some of the hearings in Abington and see how they're doing it, and we're going to model that program because it is successful over there. They come in, they get a chance to tell their version of why they went through the red light, and a lot of times, some people have done it twice, and there is a record of them going through twice. So yeah, they can say they have not done this before, because Senso Gatso, the company, does keep great records, and there are records, and we have access to them, and we can pull those at any time during the hearings.
So one more question. In terms of the hearing, or before it actually becomes a ticket to somebody, it is reviewed by the company just as the bus program is, by multiple people, then sent to here to be reviewed? To
It'll-
see if it's, and then you approve, then the police department will approve it?
The violation will be sent to us, just like we do with bus patrol. One of the officers that currently do bus patrol will review the violation, say yes or no if it is indeed a violation. once they say yes, the company mails out the citation to them.
So there's multiple levels of review, so it's not just
Correct.
because you trigger it as being a potential red
That's
light
correct.
run-through, that by the time you get the citation, you're pretty darn close to accurate that you actually have run the red light.
That's correct, and it also gives us the ability, if it's a funeral procession going through, we're obviously not going to send multiple citations to a funeral procession going through, because they're allowed to do that.
Okay, I've gotten some questions from some people about the bus patrol, so I wanted to confirm that there's multiple levels of review prior to the actual mailing of the
That's correct.
civil citation. Thank you.
And as you had just explained, it's not, you're not going to district court for this, you just, it's a more of a casual, I'll use that word if I may, presentation by the individual to our experts in the police department, and the determination is made at that time. Is that correct? Do I
We
have that?
intend to model the Abington version, where it's a hearing officer that we hire, and they are also paid for with the fees from the citations as well.
Well, I think what it said in here, Ed, was that they can protest it with a person who judges whether it was correct or not.
Yeah, the
But then-
officer-
Yeah, but then they have a right to appeal it to the magistrate if they wanted to after that.
The officer that says that the violation is a violation will be there at the hearing here, and if they don't like the outcome of that, then they can proceed over to district court.
Okay, yes.
And Abington has had, I think, 2 in 8 years that have gone to district court.
Yeah, it's a $100 fine. I
Yeah,
think
it's-
that's what it is, yeah. So it's
And I
sometimes.
just wanted to emphasize, too, because I was reading through, is that it's not going to identify people with privacy inside the car. It's just identifying the vehicle itself that went through the red light, right?
That's correct. It's
License.
only recording the back of the vehicle and the license plate.
And then, and to Mr. Pizzo, I guess, could answer this. The way this is written is 60 days. There's no other locations that this would occur unless they came back to council to request additional locations, I would assume, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So I won't know if my grandma stole my car and went through those intersections, is that right? Jeez.
So I do have one more question. You're using Abington as an example, not Philadelphia, because we're closer to Abington in terms of number of cars and things on the road as compared to
Right,
Philadelphia.
exactly.
Have the intersections where they have this program at, have they seen a significant decrease in the number of accidents? Because that is our ultimate goal. The goal is not to collect money. The goal is to reduce the number of accidents in
That-
our township. So we
that
get that
and
across
educate
to
the public.
everybody. Yes.
Yes, they have seen a reduction. That's why they still have maintained the program there.
Because we know that when Director McVeigh was here the other week, he talked about the number of citations that originally went out with the bus program and how that has dramatically decreased now. So just want to be sure we reiterate that to the public. This is, training by money, not training to get money.
Correct.
I couldn't believe the amount of citations that were issued for people passing school buses. It was in the thousands.
I was
I don't know
just as
specifically what it
surprised,
was.
sir.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I just can't, I still can't believe it. I can't even remember the amount, but it was crazy. Okay, well, is there anyone else have any questions? And,
Knights Road's pretty, we have to do something, we have to try something. It's a pretty bad intersection.
all right, so everybody's in agreement with this?
Yep.
Can I have a motion to be put, is there anyone, would anyone like to come forward from the audience and comment on this? Noah?
I'll make a motion, I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance amending the code of the township Bensalem by adding Chapter 60, automated red light enforcement systems, and we approve allow the 2 locations presented at Old Lincoln Highway and US 1 and the intersection of Knights Road and Street Road for this system.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a second on the motion. Any additional discussion? Not hearing any. Those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? Thank you. Before you leave, however, our next agenda item, we're going to have John Chakowski come up and comment on it, but I'd like you to stay in the audience if you would. It's regarding the drop system, in case we have a question that you could answer
Sure.
if need be. I think we'll be in good shape with that, but please, if you'd be kind enough to do that.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right, John, we have, introduce yourself to us. Of course, we know who you are, but
Sure. I'm John Chakowski. I'm the finance manager as well as the pension administrator for the township. Presented to you in front of you tonight is a ordinance amending The original drop program that was adopted by council in 2014 and was subsequently amended due to a arbitration award in 2015. That drop program has been in existence since that point. Through recent contract negotiations, there was a minor amendment to the drop program, which is signified in Exhibit A of the ordinance as the actual agreement. And we have to adopt an actual ordinance in order for the program to be effective at this point. The current terms of the program be effective.
And could you, no, we understand that.
Sure.
And we understand what it, but can you, in a general kind of way, explain what the drop program is for
Sure.
a police officer who's getting ready to retire, and how that affects not so much his pension, but the amount of money that can be accumulated over a 3-year period, I believe?
Correct. So our drop program is a 3-year drop program, and what that means is that when an officer becomes eligible to retire, they hit their superannuation date based on their years of service and their age, depending on their date of hire in the collective bargaining agreement. They can then elect within 90 days of that superannuation date, with the exception of a few individuals that through the recent negotiation, they have a longer time frame to elect when they're entering. They can then elect that they're going to retire for pension purposes only. However, they will work for a maximum time frame of an additional 3 years. So basically what happens is their pension becomes frozen at that point. Their pension payments start becoming dispersed, but they go into a separate individually managed account in their name that the township holds for that time frame. And they continue to work for us for 3 years. So we have a definitive time when the actual individual will be leaving the department, so we can prepare accordingly to get a hiring list together if need be, or something to that extent.
And how does that affect the individual officer that's ready to retire? After being here for 3 more years, his pension has stopped, his contribution to the pension has stopped, but is there another accumulation of money in another?
Yeah, so what happens is the monthly pension payment, if they were to retire today, they would obviously start receiving a monthly pension from the pension plan. What happens is instead of that money going directly to them, it goes to that managed fund, which is done by Mission Square, and in the individual's name. And it sits in that account, it gains interest. It's in a money market account, if you will, because it's guaranteed not to lose any money. So they can then decide to stay for either a year or a maximum of 3 years once they enter the drop program.
So in practical terms, and I'm trying to understand it, so
Sure.
I have a general idea, but so then and I'll use just arbitrary numbers, if a police officer makes $100,000 a year, he would receive 50% in his pension after he retires. So $50,000 a year goes into this other account, is that correct?
Correct.
So after 3 years, there could conceivably be $150,000 plus the interest on that.
Correct.
As a lump sum when he retires.
Yeah, and then they have the option to roll that money into whatever investment avenue that they want, or they could cash out if they choose to and pay the taxes on it. at that
Okay,
point.
thank you. You explained it extremely well, and I do understand it now.
Good.
After several years, thank you.
No problem.
And
All right.
just to be clear, this was already agreed upon, we're just formalizing it?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Exactly, good question. All right, so we have the information on the drop program. Any additional questions from anyone?
John, just explain what's the benefit of having this in general, like this?
The benefit of having a drop program, and especially with ours, you have a definitive date when the individual is leaving. So you can actually be prepared if you need to put a police test out there and start backgrounds and everything like that. You can actually have a definitive date when that individual is going to be leaving, so you can get an officer right back on the street right away if they need to go to the academy, if they need to go through backgrounds, whatever the avenue is. But it's a benefit to the township to basically lessen the manpower issues on the street.
Right, okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, is there anyone from the public, excuse me, I'm sorry, are you finished, John?
I am,
All right.
unless you
Is
have any other
there
questions.
anyone else that would like to comment on this proposed ordinance for the drop program? Not seeing anyone come forward, I'll ask for a motion to be put on the floor.
I'll put a motion that we approve the deferred retirement option plan drop program for the benefit of all full-time police officers employed by the Bensalem Police Department as presented.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a second on the motion. Any additional discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. And against, any abstentions? All right, that is unanimous. John, thank you very much. Lieutenant Bush, thank you very much for coming here, making your presentations. We appreciate it, and good luck with our new program now.
Thank you very much.
John, thank you, sir. There you go. All right, now we have agenda item number 7 and number 8 that we move that to July the 11th. July 10th. Jeez. And then we have agenda item number 9, which we had talked about just a moment ago, which is a Shacks, I guess it is, Express Cargo Incorporated. And I'm going to ask for that to be tabled to a date certain of July the 10th. May I have a motion on the floor on that?
Make a motion to table item number 9, Shacks Express Cargo, Inc., to a date certain of July 10th.
All right, we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
We have a second on the motion. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Number 10 and number 11 also have been moved to July 10th. And then now we're going to move on to agenda item number 12. This is consideration of an ESCO release for Pennsylvania Steel release. We have, what do we got? Okay. Quentin is representing our township engineer. Okay. Quentin, please give us
Council
your,
President, and
your
council
report.
members, and mayor. This is release number 1 for PA Steel at 1717 Woodhaven Drive. This is their first release. The project is pretty much completed. We are recommending release of $633,119.64, leaving them a balance of $71,308.96. As you can see in the chart, there's a couple of things still outstanding that need to be rectified. There's plenty enough money and funds to guarantee that work is completed. So if there's any questions, I can answer them at this time.
Does anybody have any questions on this? That's a big nut that's going back to the client, Pennsylvania Steel, and it's leaving us about 10%.
I have a comment. I drive by
Please.
it pretty frequently, as I'm sure Mr. Pizzo does, going down State Road, and they've done a very nice job. It is very, very nice. It really looks good. They've done nice fencing around their retention basin. The side of the building looks great, and they really, from, the looks of it looks good, and I trust your judgment that they did what they said they were going to do, and it's nice to be able to release, and they got it all done as expected and agreed to.
And we appreciate your comments. Brings us up to date, because I'm not down there that often, but thank you.
Yeah, we go by there probably.
Perfect.
Looks great.
All right, any other comments on this? I'll ask for a motion to be put on the floor then.
I'll make a motion that we approve the release for Pennsylvania Steel, 1717 Woodhaven Drive, in the amount of $633,119.64, as audited by the Finance Department.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
We do have a second. All those in favor signify with an aye. Aye. Any against? Unanimous? Okay, moving on to public comment. Would anyone like to come forward? We have no public in the audience except for the two gentlemen here. Okay, and we're going to close that part out, unless you do want to come up and tell us how wonderful we are or anything like that. I mean, just extemporaneously, of course. Okay, and then we have other business from personnel, and we'll go through this fairly quickly, I believe. We have Phil Worcester. Would you like to make a comment on anything that's happening around in your life?
Have a great 4th.
4th of July.
4th of
Thank you.
July.
Thank you very much. Debbie, would you like to make any comments on? Okay, thank you. And moving over to my extreme right, Mr. Pizzo, our solicitor.
I just echo Mr. Worster's sentiments. Happy 4th of July to everyone.
Thanks, Joe. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be here this long, but...
Hey, well, we're moving along pretty well.
Yeah, and I appreciate you going quickly. I didn't expect us to go this quickly tonight. The 4th of July, obviously, and the patriots that we are here in Bensalem. Bensalem salutes America, as we all know. So have a great time out there and enjoy. Be safe.
Okay, thank you. And we have our council members. Michelle, would you like to go first?
Oh, yeah, just congratulations to everybody on the top 50 recognition. It does take a team. There are a lot of people behind the scenes that support everything we do. Many different departments and leadership here that's innovative between the township and the school district and emergency services and all the things that we have here. Just thank you, everybody, for being collaborative partners and making this a great town. And happy 4th. Please be safe. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that fireworks are allowed on any public property in Bensalem, correct? 150 feet
I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything.
of residents, so just be careful out there, please. Happy 4th.
I would never do anything like that, so count me out. Joseph?
Yes, yeah,
Joseph
quickly,
Knowles?
I would like to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Everybody enjoy the holiday. It's a great event for family and friends, and we're the number 26th place in America to have family and friends.
Wow. Invite
Which
everybody over to
which
your
is
house.
tremendous, right?
It is good.
I'll be in Washington D.C. Visiting my son over the 4th, but
That's a great
hope you enjoy
place
it.
to be.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, we're going to be nice.
Good. All right.
But we'll see you on the 10th.
Okay. Is that it, Joseph?
Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So happy 4th, and everybody have a safe one. Don't forget about the concert tomorrow night. Ditto everything, Councilwoman Benitez, tomorrow night? No, tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm going to visit Joe.
It's Wednesday. God, I'm thinking it's Tuesday. I just got back from vacation. What am I saying?
And I'm agreeing with you.
I
I'm going along
know.
with you.
I'm still in vacation mood. But ditto everything Michelle said and Mr. Knoll said about being top 50. Besides our amazing administration, emergency services, school district that we have, we also have amazing residents, because without them, this really would not. It's the concern. Most of us have heard it when we see people out or hear it through social media, things that are going on, and bringing it to our attention. And it's a great place to live. I've been here for a very long time, left and came back, and raising my family. So left for school and work and came back. So happy 4th. Enjoy the concert Wednesday evening, and see you guys back on July 10th.
Whenever it is. All right, I'm just going to reiterate what was said just a moment ago, and I'll start off with the 26th placement we have out of 1,900 cities that were in competition, and that's with a population of 20,000 or plus. So that's basically 2,000 cities and townships with quite a large population, and we came out at 26th in that place. And I'm going to quote an individual. It says, "I'm very, very proud of it. We work hard at this. It's great to see that we are recognized with the problems that we have this big. Not only are we one of the 50, but we're ranked 26. That is phenomenal." Quoted by Mayor DiGirolamo. And certainly he's,
I mean, don't take that for granted. And that's no solicitation, that's no
I think it's wonderful.
no contest, no entering something. It's just pure, they picked us.
I think it's great. It just
Right.
goes to show to the caliber of our administration, our
Absolutely.
residents, everything.
And-
We're a
and-
great place to be.
and what our council members are saying, yourself and Michelle had said, and Joe, I mean, relative to, it's a combination of everybody, our citizens being a major part of it. Some aspects that were certainly a consideration on this laudit, I guess I'd say, were given to us is the educational system in Bensalem. our aging resources that we have for those who are a little bit in the elderly, I guess I'm in that group there, on the elderly people, and the general wellness of the entire township, the financial health of the township, which, boy, oh boy, we're really good in that department compared to when Mayor DiGirolamo had come in, from a deficit to where we are today.
We were broke,
And the
you all know it.
livability of Bensalem Township. So there's a lot of things happening here, and
mentioned the amphitheater specifically.
they did mention that,
Yeah,
yes, they
yeah.
did. Specifically,
It's
they
a great
mentioned that.
entertainment.
Many great years of.
Yeah.
Oh, and.
It's hard to
there's
beat that value.
There's
Yeah.
another movie next, is it next month?
People complain all the time.
Yes, The Lions.
I was
Club.
out there the opening
Yep.
night.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to move from that part of what I want to say tonight. Also, I want to mention that, and this is quite remarkable, that in 2 weeks, I-95 was up and running, which I can't believe, because I was on it. I went to the Phillies game Friday night, and you wouldn't even know that there was a problem there. The problem was, unfortunately, it poured Friday before we started heading down to the game, and down in Allegheny area, it flooded. So once we got past, which we thought was going to be the problem, we got down there and it was one single lane. So that took us quite a while, but it's amazing what, I'll have to give the governor credit for what he did and how he did it, and we're certainly happy with working with him anytime he comes into Bensalem, our area. Well, our guys did everything. You kidding me for what we're doing there? But I-95 was actually, it's almost, I can't believe it. It's quite remarkable. I do have notes that I want to mention about the cycles and the ATVs, not only in the Trevose area, but in all areas that's being attended to. 4th of July is Tuesday. Happy birthday to all of us, and enjoy 4th of July, as Joe had said just a moment ago, because this is the greatest country in the world. People are fighting to get in here. They're coming in here illegally. Not that I condone that, but the reality is they're not doing it in any other country because America is great, and we are a wonderful people. I don't care what anybody says, and I'll have an argument or discussion with anybody, that we are the best nation in the world. So happy birthday to all of us. Enjoy it with your family. And again, the one thing I want to mention, and I'm glad you're here for this, Joe. I want to ask you a question. I didn't get a chance to ask you earlier, but you should have left. You should have left when we had you running on the high thing there. Our council members, when are we going to be able to see the council meetings live on TV?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to mention that.
Well, that's why I mentioned it to you.
That came back, we don't have the equipment to hear yet. They can't, it comes up on the screen now. You can see 22 is back that way. It's all the equipment they're waiting to get. It's been a long time, and we expect it back in, I don't know, a couple of weeks, hopefully, till we get the sound back.
So we're looking somewhere throughout the summer that we
It's not
can-
like we don't have the money to buy the equipment. It's not like can't get it. It's just taking a long time to get it.
Okay,
It's stuck in a ship coming across from China, I guess. I'm not sure.
okay, but we're aware of it, and it's
Yeah.
gotten to a
No,
point,
I'm
I'm
glad
saying I
you
had
asked
to
that.
mention it so we know what we're doing.
Working on it. I know Darren, he works on that diligently, and we ask him a question all the time, and we put as much pressure on them, they just don't have the equipment.
I mean, I have thousands of people asking me when we're going to be back on TV, at least.
Well, if you pull it up, you can pull it
Billions
up on
and
22,
billions.
but there's no sound.
Well, you say, oh, that's good, we would make sense then, wouldn't we?
Do we have closed captioning?
Yeah, I think so.
We
Do
do,
we?
Yeah.
Okay. I-
yes, we do.
Stacy, you brought a good point up with the Lions Club, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this when we first talked about the
ahead.
top 50, but we have so many great nonprofit organizations in our town that contribute. Building a Better Bensalem Together, which was something that the mayor started here years ago. I happen to be a board member on, they're committed. You have the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, the Kiwanis, and they all work together and partner to serve the community. What?
A team.
A team. I know,
A
I know,
team.
but
I
I just
preach
want to
it all the time.
give them
Teams win,
special
no individual.
recognition.
Not one of us sitting here tonight can do anything by themselves.
There's so many people behind it.
That's right.
And a commitment to service.
Yes.
By all of these organizations and many members of our community, especially led by, and it's always the one thing that I try to instill in my children, is you volunteer to do good. You don't
No
volunteer
question about
to
it.
say you volunteered.
Okay, everyone has their comments, is that correct? We're fine? I'm going to conclude this meeting by saying, good night, Gracie. Thank you.